Over the past year, Destination Durham has covered a variety of topics highlighting the community spirit of the town of Durham. Tonight, we will look back on the Durham Farmers Market, the Go Far Running program, and the Durham Public Works Department with updates from up to a whole year later. The Durham Farmers Market was one of the first stories Destination Durham covered. Here's a look back with an update on one of Durham's most popular weekly events.
The popular Durham Farmers Market, which is currently in its third year, was the brainchild of local farmer Melinda Naples.
She went to other farm markets in other towns and wanted to bring it back to the town where her farm is.
The market has become quite popular and has grown considerably through the years.
We started off with fewer vendors, and then we had a permit up to 15, and we've almost over that now. So we went back to the town, and now we can have up to 20 vendors.
I know there's prepared foods now from Perk on Main and Little Something Catering.
But prepared foods aren't the only way to go. Many local shoppers use fresh ingredients found right here at the Durham Farmers Market to create their own meals at home.
We base a lot of our menus on what is in the fridge, and what's in the fridge is what we find here. So, you know, it's kind of as seasonal as we could make it, although we do try to can, preserve, and freeze things for other times, for the lean times.
It's fun, like to compose a meal with knowing where everything came from.
Running from May to September, the Durham Farmers Market is a great place for residents of any age.
We're lucky with wonderful weather, temperature, it's nice to get out. I've even seen people, it's like old homestays, you know, seeing people that you grow up with, you know, a nice small town. So it's a wonderful, wonderful time to come.
We have some great vendors. We have 15 vendors this year, which is a great number. We have an excellent variety, ranging anything from your standard farmers market produce to heirloom vegetables and fruit. We have kettle corn, dairy, yogurt, cheese, grass-fed beef and pork. We have just an amazing array of foods. We have shellfish, maple syrup, the list goes on and on.
Sounds like you have a full complement. Is there something missing that you would love to see come to the farmers market?
We would love to have a honey vendor, and we haven't yet been able to find a honey vendor.
Well, it hasn't been a good year for the honey makers, I understand. So maybe next year we'll find somebody like that. Now, you talked about permits and licensing. We are a WIC certified farmers market. Can you tell me a little bit about that program?
Well, each vendor who sells fruits or vegetables at the farmers market needs to be certified with the Women, Infants, and Children program for the state of Connecticut, which means that if a woman and her family qualify for the vouchers, they can come and use the vouchers for the food at the market. We also are senior citizen farmers market nutrition program voucher friendly, and senior citizens can obtain vouchers from their town halls and bring them to the market and use those to also buy fresh fruits and vegetables at the market.
That's a great way to promote the Eat Local program.
Right.
I have visited some websites about how important that is for us today, to know the source of our food. And I know that you have a particular interest in that personally. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have learned about why it is so important to know where your food sources come from.
I do. It's something that my family and I are very interested in. You could approach it from any range. You could approach eating locally as being beneficial to the environment, beneficial to your health, beneficial to the economy of the local community. First and foremost, I think nutrition is probably the most important. I have 2 young kids. What they put into their bodies is very important to me. And I know that when I buy food from the farmer's market, I can ask Nelson Ceccarelli when he picked the corn that we're having for dinner that night, and he'll tell me what time that day he picked it. I know that it hasn't sat on a truck. Nutritionally, food diminishes its nutritional content as it travels, the more time that goes between from when it was picked to when you eat it. So you're really getting more bang for your buck nutritionally when you shop at a farmer's market, and when you establish that close relationship with your farmers.
This summer, Destination Durham headed to the market to get an update from current market master Tina Hurlbert, as well as former market master Melinda Naples. It may look similar, but the Durham Farmers Market has seen several changes since this time last year.
Since last year, we've added probably about 5 new vendors, and we've changed our configuration a little bit. We now have electricity on the green, so we have some vendors who come and they make their smoothies and plug in their refrigerators or their freezers to sell their products, so it's added a lot of variety as far as what the vendors can bring.
But the changes aren't just for the vendors. With new musical acts and special guests, the market has seen bigger crowds than ever before.
Just expanding a little bit, I think, and the crowd has been growing over the last 2 years probably. It's started to catch on a little more, I think, locally.
So, with its increased popularity, what do the market masters hope for the future?
I don't know that we need too many more vendors, but definitely more local support, more people here from town especially, and maybe, surrounding towns shopping at it.
Next year, I think we're going to continue with the idea of having a theme every week, because that's worked out pretty well. I'd also like to get a little bit more publicity out there, a little bit more marketing, a little more visibility in the community, and kind of bring us off the green too and into visiting some different places.
For Destination Durham, I'm Bill Hall.
So, you're looking for help with your mortgage. Worried about foreclosure? Messy stuff. We're a mortgage rescue company. We can help you keep your house. All we ask for in return is that you submit to our plans for galactic domination. We're not so different, you and I. Sign.
Yeah, this is not what we...
Have you met my henchman, Radu?
Nice to meet you.
Radu?
We're just we'll see you later.
If you're facing foreclosure, make sure you're talking to the right people. Speak with HUD-approved housing counselors free of charge at 888-995-HOPE.
The 9/11 Memorial will honor my partner and the officers who responded that morning.
It's for my brother.
And my 343 brothers who didn't make it.
It's about hope for the future.
So we always remember September 11th.
For my husband who never came home.
And the first responders who saved my life.
This shows the world that we can rebuild.
That we are united.
And that we are strong. Because the best of humanity can overcome the worst hate.
It's for all the heroes like my dad.
This year, the National September 11th Memorial opens in New York City. Join us to honor, remember, and reunite. You can help right now by texting the word HOPE to 80088 to give $10.
The Go Far program has become a benchmark of the Region 13 community. Last year, Destination Durham sat down with Jen Schulten to learn more about the program. Take a look.
Plus, by the time they get to Strong School in the high school, they're getting into the competitive
Exactly.
team
Our
events.
goal when I first designed this program, I didn't have a
there was no manual as to how to create a running program for children. So my goal was to create a fluent from kindergarten all the way up until a child makes it into a sporting team, that they can be in a sporting team. My goal was to have that consistency, because really, if you think about it, exercise is not something that starts, in high school. Right. It should be something that starts from day one. And honestly, it should go well beyond high school. It should go into our 30s and 40s and 50s. And it shouldn't be always competitive in nature. It should just be something that you really enjoy. And at Go Far, that's what we teach the kids. It's really about enjoying the sport, not about beating, your little friend. It's really about enjoying it on a daily basis.
Speaking of the prizes, tell us about some of the little prizes, because I think you've been very creative in
well, when
how
you
you've
have
done
no
that.
money, you have to be creative. I've done a lot of interesting prizes. We've done many events. We've had all, I can explain that in a minute, but we've had everything where I use these little monster figures. Parents may see them like a Pokemon type of figure. And what I've done last year is I named them after 12 famous runners. We had Paula Radcliffe and we had Bolt Usain, all these famous runners. And these little kids collect the children collect the figures. And it's
when they reach certain
mile points. At 5 miles, at every 5 miles they get one of these little figures. And also we've done these little tokens that they wear on a necklace, and every time they reach 5 miles. And it's a really helpful motivator, because kids love little prizes. Yeah. And honestly, I love them too. I stay up into the wee hours looking for cool prizes for the following year. So it's always
I can
fun.
see you doing that.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Without violating any confidences, can you share with us some of success stories from individuals?
We've had so many. On a daily basis, you see little success stories. We send our kids back to the classroom ready to learn, and I really think that's our major success story. That wasn't part of the intention. It wasn't part of our original plan, but as we saw more and more children running, we've had less playground battles. Kids are getting along much better in the playground. And I would say there's so many stories, but it creates solid friendships. When a child goes out to the playground and they don't know who to play with, they can go and they can just start running. And normally they'll start running with a friend. And they create real friendships over the year, because it's out there every day for them. And the whole idea of our program is consistency, so they can always look to those same groups of kids. I've had a child last year who ran 100 miles. We tracked him. We tracked him all the way from Lyman School, and we figured out that if he ran 100 virtual miles, he would end up at the Empire State Building. So every week at assembly, we would track his mileage. And it was a very proud moment. All the children were very proud of him when he did make his goal. We've also had a child who, the first year who did it, he was very disappointed because he had only gotten to 17 miles. And
only 17 miles. Only 17
only in
miles.
his opinion, because he wanted to do 26. And what we try to teach kids is they're not going to win every time. They're not going to always have success from day one, and you really have to work at those long-term goals. And then the next year, he had a wonderful year. He made it to, I think, 38, 40 miles, and he was so proud of himself. Mm-hmm. And it was so great to see the parents and the administrators really rally behind this child. So there's so many positive little stories that come in every day.
We're here at Coggins High School on their brand new field, and we're talking with Jen Schulten. We interviewed Jen last year about the Go Far program, and this year we're just looking for some updates and to find out what's going on with the Go Far program. Hi Jen, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
What can you tell us is going on with the Go Far program this year?
Well, we've had a really successful year. 2011 was a really great school year. We had all the schools participating up to Memorial. Our school, I think the last time I saw you, we had talked about the race that was coming up. Mm-hmm. Since then, we've had a great successful event called Go Far, Go Fast. It happens, we are now annual. It happens in June at the fairgrounds. And pretty much what happens at this race is all the kids that have participated and trained throughout the school year get to come to this event, show their parents how well they've been training. And this year we even introduced a high school event so that the older kids could come and participate. And they could in some ways show the younger kids what it's like to be on a track team and to see really how fast just to show the kids what you can really become if you stick with it. Right. And now that we have this wonderful track, it's a great opportunity for all the kids in the town to really embrace running. We do it at the schools every day, and it's really fun there to run around our top fields and our smaller fields. But what happens is when they come to Strong, they can come here and they can start really participating in an amazing program. So what we do at GoFar is we're trying to bridge that gap from, get them from elementary school and get them ready so that when they do come to high school, they're going to be the athletes they want to be.
Now, how are you enticing those older kids to come and join the program?
Well, what we did, we have some new ideas. We are just starting out the year. We just received a grant from CVEF, which is Coginchaug Valley Education Foundation, and they were wonderful enough to give us some money to support the program, especially at Memorial School, where we've always had a little bit of difficulty getting that age group to really get to embrace a running program. So this year what we're going to try to do is introduce some new concepts, not just do award-based running like they do at the younger schools. We're going to do a program that really focuses on teaching them different types of fitness. We may introduce some Zumba classes, some things that are going to be just more fitness-minded, because at that age it becomes more of a social, there's more social play involved. We're actually going to split the boys and girls up and do a boys class and a girls class, and hopefully we'll start unrolling this sometime in October. And we pretty much have devised a 3-segment program so that every couple months we can try something new with them. And hopefully, with doing more fitness, not just running. We're still going to stick with the running, but we want to introduce other types of fitness just to keep it more interesting and keep it more fun. At this stage, they don't really want the little prizes as much. They need to do it more intrinsically. So we'll see.
Now, as parents, how can we entice our children to participate in the GoFar program? Because you do it at recess at the lower schools.
Yeah, we do it at recess. But at Memorial, we're not going to be able to do it at recess. We're going to be doing an after-school program. Because of their shorter recess time, they only have 15 minutes over there. We are kind of forced to do it after school and make it that type of program. So as parents, though, fitness starts at home. You can walk to the school bus. You don't have to be driven to the school bus. Little things like that. When you get home from school, everybody goes out and does some type of fitness. And then if you can get them into that, if you can do family fitness, you're more likely to get your kids running at school and get them excited. To get them running at school, you just have to encourage them. You have to tell them that it's a really cool thing. You have to be excited about it when they come home and they bring their prizes. You have to show how excited you are. And show up at the schools. I mean, we're not the type of program for your typical, how would I say it? The type of parents that we have that volunteer at GoFar really like to be outside. It's a very interesting way to volunteer. It's very active. They don't have to be stuck inside. You don't have to be sitting next to a computer. It appeals to an interesting type of parent. Right. And if you're there, the kids are going to want to show up and be there with their parents. At least until they're in middle school.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have them there.
And then we'll do Zumba and get everybody.
And
else.
then so the idea once we get to middle school is to branch out and try new things, and make it fun. The whole idea is to never stay still for more than a couple minutes at a time. Right. And that's what we're going to try to work on.
Now, how many combined miles did all the kids run for GoFar last year?
Well, last year we figured out that the kids, I believe at Lyman alone, I can't remember how many, it was something to the nature of more than 30,000 laps around Top Field. It pretty much translated to about 5,000 miles, maybe even more, 5,500 miles last year. Even in 1 week alone last year, when we got to the West Coast, our map, when we made it to our figurative West Coast, we tried to encourage the kids to do a big final push. It was in June, and we said, we want to get in shape for the race. So let's try to get to Hawaii. So all the kids really rallied behind it, and we did 1,000 miles in 1 week. And there's only 300 kids in the school, and I would say an average of 80 to 90% of the school ran that week, and we pretty much got all the kids involved, and they were able to achieve the goal.
That's great. So Jen, where would you like to see GoFar go in the future?
Well, we'd like to see GoFar. We'd like to see GoFar go far within our community. Now that we have this wonderful new track, I see so many opportunities for the kids to, the kids that have started this at a young age, to see it through. We started very young for some of these kids. They started, kindergarten and first grade, and they had the enthusiasm to start it. And we want to see them through their high school years because really what GoFar is about, you know, lifelong fitness. And we want these kids, when they're in first grade all the way through adulthood, to have good health. And now that we have this, it's a wonderful opportunity to continue that. And that's what we hope for, is just continued health with these kids as they grow into adults.
Well, I thank you, Jen, for coming out and allowing us to interview for Destination Durham.
Thank you.
And good luck with your program.
Thanks very much.
I'm Alicia Fonash-Willette for Destination Durham.
She's like shoveling off the stuff and she gets stuck in the truck. Like because her feet got planted in it and so it was like flinging around. It's like, guys, help me.
Who's it from, Becca? Greg.
Oh, you guys are so cute. I'm so jealous of you guys.
Emotionally, what's supposed to be like physics or something?
It's calculus, and I don't know why I took this class because I totally failed.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Oh. Bye. See ya.
Greg again? Becca, you should really talk to somebody about this. What about your mom? Or Miss Brainerd? She's really nice.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am
An American.
I am an American.
I am American.
I am an American.
I'm an American.
I'm an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I'm an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
It may be the middle of summer, but Durham's residents are already thinking about snow. After last year's record snowfall amounts, many are left wondering what this year will bring, and whether or not a proposed $750,000 sand and salt shed facility should be approved. Last March, Public Works Director Kurt Bober appeared on Destination Durham to discuss the record snowfall of last season. Let's take a look.
We had one snowstorm of 18 inches, then we had about 1 inch of rain, which just crusted that over, and then the 22-inch snowstorm on top of that. As you can imagine, just the weight of all that was quite a bit, giving our trucks a hard time to move all that. And this is the first time in my life, I've been doing this for 27 years, that when we had such a rate of snowfall that in a matter of 4 hours, we had 18 to 20 inches of snow. And if you can imagine trying to drive in something like that, let alone try to work or find the road and things like that, it was very taxing to our trucks, our drivers, and our equipment.
Destination Durham caught up with Kurt Bober at the Public Works facility to discuss the project and to find out what it means for Durham and Durham's residents. It may appear to be business as usual for workers at the town garage, but Public Works Director Kurt Bober says time is running out for building a new salt shed, a project he says will be a major benefit for the town.
Blame it on global warming, or blame it on whatever you like. We don't know. We don't know what the future brings us. The immediate benefit is going to help us free up a little bit of room here in the building.
Room that is desperately needed. While Bober says much of the equipment from the collapsed building has been brought inside, this leaves little space for the workers.
We're already at the maximum. There is no room in which to work, no room in which to walk, no rooms to park anything else in here.
While few people argue that an upgrade is needed, many are questioning the high price of the project and what that means for taxpayers.
The building itself is going to cost $630,000. What we got off of bids. We're hoping that once we get going, we can negotiate with the builder, see if what we can do on hand with our own crew to help bring that cost down a little bit. We have roughly another $110,000 in site work that needs to get done. That work will be done by the crew, so that way there we can save and stay on top of it and save as much money as we can. So out of the $650,000 we're expecting to get of the building itself, we're expecting to receive $250,000 for insurance for the replacement cost of the old building. Moving this building. Here's a picture of our site again, Cream Pot Road.
Bober spoke of the project and the cost at a recent public town meeting where he addressed residents and citizens.
This will hold probably at least half to 3/4 of the season's material needed for us to sand and salt our roads. So giving us the benefit of some overtime reduction, that we don't have to worry about after every storm to mix more sand and salt, so we have it before the buses go out the next day. Or also the manpower used during the storm or after every storm to refill this.
Bober cited new deep regulations as a reason for moving ahead.
The new DEP rules and regulations, sand and salt has to be kept under storage. We currently are not in compliance with that. Even our old facility was on the border of whether it met the present day requirements. So that's one of the biggest things.
At the meeting, several residents did raise questions about the costs and details of the project. While Bober admits that members of the community will have concerns about the costs, he does welcome questions and encourages any and all Durham residents to visit the Public Works facilities.
And anybody who wants can come down here and take a look around and decide for themselves and see what they own. We have over $1 million worth of equipment, and we need to protect that equipment. We need to keep it under cover. We need to have a workplace environment that's suitable for our employees. So there's a lot of questions and that needs to be answered, not only with this building, but building needs in the future.
Wonderful. If you have any questions about the sand and salt shed proposal or would like to find out more information, please contact the Public Works Department. And a link will be posted on our Destination Durham Facebook page. I'm Alicia Fonash-Willette for Destination Durham.